Chapter 17. Recovery. When the dried-up origin monarch key in his body filled up a little more, Xiaoyan held back the pain and stood up. He walked step by step to the place where the giant ape had fallen and looked at the dead giant ape. There was a fist-sized bloody hole in the giant ape's chest, and a large amount of blood flowed out. The spot where the giant ape had fallen was dyed black and red, and it gave off a pungent smell of blood. Xiaoyan let out a long breath. His left hand, which could still move slightly, was wrapped by the alien flame. He reached into the giant ape's chest and grabbed for a while. Xiaoyan's face revealed a slight joy. He then grabbed a fist-sized white monster core. I have to pay such a huge price for this. I still have to get this little reward. Xiaoyan's lips curved up slightly. He endured the pain all over his body and said to himself, when we reach the city in the future, I think this 8-star devil beast's monster core can also be sold for some monarch crystals. After putting the demon core into the storage ring, Xiaoyan's frown became even more intense. Because of the bone-splitting pain that kept coming from his right hand, Xiaoyan gritted his teeth, and sweat continuously fell from his forehead. Not good. If I don't heal my right hand now, I'm afraid it will become useless in the future. Xiaoyan endured the heart-piercing pain. The heavenly phoenix wings on his back flapped, and he quickly left this place. In a small cave, Xiaoyan sat cross-legged. His left hand used a lot of effort to form a hand seal, and his right hand powerlessly fell to the ground. Xiaoyan closed his eyes, allowing the sweat that flowed down his face due to the pain. As he swallowed and spat, some pure origin monarch ki entered Xiaoyan's body, making his pale face slightly better. When the situation outside his body improved a little, Xiaoyan looked inside his body and felt a little happy. The key recovery medicine pill that had been condensed in each of his meridians also quickly decomposed as the medicine pills entered his body. Finally, it merged into the origin monarch crystal in his dantian. At the same time, some of the damaged meridians also slowly recovered their vitality. The origin monarch key that entered his body, under the influence of the flame mantra, slowly flowed into various parts of his body. Immediately, the meridians, bones, cells and other parts of his body began to absorb crazily. With every absorption, the originally weak meridians shook slightly and slowly recovered at a speed that was not visible to the naked eye. It was this slight vibration that caused Xiaoyan to feel a trace of pain. Some life force returned to his body once again. A day passed unknowingly. When Xiaoyan opened his eyes again, a powerful aura erupted from his body. He could feel that his body had been filled with origin monarch ki. Xiaoyan was startled, and a joyful expression quickly filled his face. He had the ability to break through before the battle with the giant ape. Although he had been disturbed by the giant ape and had failed to break through, he still had the ability to break through. However, after a tough battle with the giant ape, the origin monarch ki in his body had been greatly condensed. This time, he had directly skipped the peak of 6 stars and entered the strength of an early 7 stars expert. Early 7 stars, this was the strength of late fighting monarch. Originally, Xiaoyan thought that it would take at least 2 months to break through, but this time, it was a blessing in disguise, and he directly became a 7-star Do Emperor. One should know that the strength of a 7-star Do Emperor was several times stronger than a 6-star Do Emperor. Because he had advanced to the 7-star Do Sovereign Realm, Xiaoyan felt that the pain in his entire body had been reduced by a lot. However, his right hand, which had nearly broken half of his bones, still did not feel anything. After the initial joy, Xiaoyan helplessly sighed. After thinking for a while, he took out the medicine cauldron and inserted the glazed emperor flame. Xiaoyan closed his eyes and pondered for a moment. When he waved his left hand again, there were already dozens of herbs floating above the medicine cauldron. These were some medicinal herbs that Xiaoyan had taken during his usual cultivation. In the fighting key continent, if these medicinal ingredients were used to refine a tier 8 or even tier 9 medicine pill, even if all the bones in his body were broken, it could still be repaired. Unfortunately, in this great world, there was simply no such possibility. Usually, when a tier 8 medicine pill had yet to take shape, it would explode from the origin monarch chi in the air. Only a tier 9 and above medicine pill could barely absorb a tyrannical origin monarch ki. Bone combining spirit leaf, life origin monarch ki demon fruit, and 3 leaves bone restoring Ganoderma. These medicinal herbs are extremely rare in the Fighting Qi continent. Here, they are actually everywhere. With a helpless smile, Xiao Yan waved his right hand, and dozens of herbs merged into the medicine cauldron. Then, under Xiao Yan's control, the glazed monarch flame began to burn rapidly, and a brilliant flame wrapped around the medicine cauldron. Xiao Yan closed his eyes tightly, and used his soul force to closely observe the medicine cauldron. He knew everything that was happening inside the cauldron like the back of his hand. Within the medicine cauldron, the dozens of herbs quickly melted into a bright liquid under the burning of the alien flame. Under the control of Xiao Yan's soul, the liquid began to wiggle rapidly. Xiao Yan carefully observed everything within the cauldron. At the same time, his left hand also nimbly changed the hand techniques used to concoct the pill. With Xiao Yan's current strength, although he only used his left hand to refining a tier 8 medicinal liquid was as easy as flipping his hand. In less than half an hour, a ball of light green liquid jumped out of the cauldron. Xiao Yan immediately grabbed through the air and the light green liquid automatically split into nearly 40 pieces, entering the jade bottles on the ground. After putting the remaining jade bottles into the storage ring, Xiao Yan scattered the liquid from one of the jade bottles onto his right hand and used a jade piece to spread it evenly. Instantly, a comfortable feeling came from his left hand. Feeling the slight cool feeling from the place he applied it, Xiao Yan was also delighted in his heart. The effect of the bone recovery spirit liquid, that was refined according to the bone recovery pill, was indeed not bad. With this degree of recovery, it was estimated that it would only take a month to recover his right hand. After the matter of bone renewing was settled, Xiao Yan turned his attention to the Xiaoyi. Xiao Yan was extremely concerned about the Xiaoyi's injuries, even though he could still sense the existence of the Xiaoyi. Xiao Yan could clearly feel that the Xiaoyi was extremely weak right now. He looked into his mind and saw that when Xiao Yan sensed the Xiaoyi, the latter had turned into a weak flame that could be extinguished at any moment. It was slowly burning, and within this weak flame, a golden thunderbolt the size of a thumb was swimming slowly. Xiao Yan couldn't help but be stunned when he saw this scene. When did the Xiaoyi have such a lightning bolt in its body? Could it be that this is the profound dispelling golden thunder? When this thought appeared, Xiao Yan himself was startled. But after thinking about it carefully, there was a slight possibility that the 9 profound golden thunder had fused with the Xiaoyi when he killed 9 nether monarch bug. After that, there was no trace of the 9 profound golden thunder. Perhaps it had entered the Xiaoyi's body. Although he had some guesses, Xiao Yan still felt uneasy. He had called the Xiaoyi in his heart several times, but there was no reply. Xiao Yan could only withdraw his worries. About 2 hours after Xiao Yan left the place where the giant ape had fallen, a human figure rushed over at an extremely fast speed. The distance of several hundred meters only lasted for a few breaths of time. When it reached the giant ape's side, the human figure that was running quickly stopped. It was a man with an extremely wild appearance. He was very tall, and the muscles on his arms were bulging. His upper body was exposed, and he wore a pair of exquisite leather pants. The man walked to the giant ape's side and took a look at him. He was silent for a moment. He mumbled, "This should be an early 8-star devil beast. Could it be that he killed it?" After a pause, the man looked at the bloody hole in the giant ape's chest. His eyes focused, and he squatted down to take a closer look. Then, he looked around and muttered to himself, "There can't be any other humans here. There are only 2 of us in this area. Man Yun, when did you learn this monarch art?" After thinking for a moment, the man let out a cold laugh. He stood up and clenched his fists tightly, while a sinister look flashed across his eyes. He said in a ferocious manner, "Man Yun, you must die in this trial. I am the strongest in this generation of the northern barbarian imperial manor." Following the vicious words of the man, an aura that far exceeded the early 8-star realm erupted from his body. The powerful airflow caused the surrounding leaves to flutter without wind. After saying that, the man looked at the giant ape once again and sneered. His body moved and he rushed into the depths of the forest. Soon, he was nowhere to be seen. Chapter end.